What are you doing?
I don't even know.
He's like doing a countdown. So he goes 3, 2, 1, 4, 5. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
I do know, but I was trying to freak you.
Yeah.
Like this, I was just counting down in my head.
In your head,
So,
are you dyslexic?
No, I don't know. Maybe, but I was just trying to do it like with my body as well, because I use all my body when I'm thinking. I don't know why.
Oh my god!
So
you were such a cracker.
Yeah, I am. So
and by cracker, by the way, because people are gonna be like, "Oh, what's it calling a cracker for?" Because when my daddy said cracker, that meant a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Miss Cracker.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I do not do crack.
I was talking about.
I do some other kind of crack, man.
You're so stupid. That was a dirty kid joke. Don't listen, children. No kids are listening to this. Let's be honest. My sister
hope not.
I mean, my sister's like, "Why do you guys curse so much?"
So
I can't listen. Let the kids listen to us.
So don't drink and listen. Drink but not listen to the episode and drive.
Oh yes.
No, wait.
Oh yeah.
How was it? Don't drink and drive. Well, you don't really have to drink and drive. Don't ever drink and drive. No.
We are really good examples. You should listen to our advice. We don't sound like idiots at all.
No, not at all. Yeah.
What are we even talking about? I have no idea.
All right,
what's going on right now.
Should we play the intro for this?
Yes,
thing?
let's do that.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Listen, the podcast of two attention hogs fighting for the spotlight.
It's me.
Yeah, you're actually fighting for the spotlight right now. I'm Dan.
And I'm Jimmy. I was gonna do the name thing, but then I was like, you know what? That's tired. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, and we might be like we said in the first episode that this podcast was not gonna be about drag queens, and we keep. We keep putting drag queens at every drag queen references on every episode.
It is true, and maybe it's because before we get ready we dress in wigs. If you don't know what we're talking about, go check our Instagram.
That's gonna be way past when this episode comes out.
But it's a way to draw people back into our social medias that we don't really check.
I guess. So. Yeah, and I think I was thinking about it. Like if we do the name thing every day, we're just gonna be kind of like a copy of another show that does different names at the start of every episode.
You mean the one that sounds like a sexual noise?
Yes.
Yeah.
But let's not put it out there.
Let's not reference
so we don't get copyright claimed.
They're gonna be like, cease and desist. Get rid of these two gay boys.
And we don't have that kind of money.
We don't have any money. You have no idea how much I'm waiting for Friday because I'm like, I just need my paycheck. I'm just hungry.
Yes. I had to pay for a few things this week, and one of the things that I had to pay for was half of what I already had on my savings account. So I am desperately
what
waiting.
Did you pay for?
Like I had to get something translated, like officially translated.
Oh, yeah.
Because Immigrant. So I had to get something translated from Spanish to Icelandic, and just that piece of paper was a bit of money. I mean, that's okay and all, but.
Quick question. Did we already let the people know that you're official?
I am official.
Yeah, but
I am. Let them know I'm not illegal in this country.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, I didn't mean it like. He's been here illegally all this time.
I haven't.
No, he's a resident now.
But
didn't we talk about that?
No, but now that you mentioned that, I don't know if I've told you this.
What?
But you know. When the gyms were open, before after the first or second wave of Corona,
maybe some dirty hookup.
No,
story.
It's not a dirty hookup. Ew, I don't go to the gym for that.
I don't know your
I
business.
mean, no. I haven't. So, I was at the gym, and I was on the treadmill, like
Working on your fitness.
working on that, and after I'm done, and I'm going to walk, and I'm walking from the treadmill to the place where the weights are, so I can do some weights.
Whoa, that's a fit bitch.
Yeah. Beast. See another dragon.
There we go.
Yeah. So I go to the weight section to start like the weight training. Someone comes up to me and asks me point blank in Spanish whether I am legal in this country or not.
Shut up.
Yeah, like somebody was working out and they looked at me and they were like, wait, they had to stop their workout just to come ask me if I was legal in this country.
Oh my God. What? You didn't know them?
No.
God, what is the matter with people?
I don't know. It's I can only remember. I can only picture the other person on the other side of the gym, like lifting weights and just suddenly looking at some brown person trying to desperately run on the treadmill, and then like making a face like, is this person legal in this country? Like, is this a person that works at immigration?
I mean, yeah, like where does that come from?
I don't know.
That was
someone in immigration that's very workaholic, but
yeah, exactly. They're like, ooh, there he is. I gotta ask him. I gotta confirm this. That's so weird. And I mean, did they just look at you and think like, obviously he's Spanish? I mean, that he speaks Spanish?
I don't know, but that's also kind of weird because, I mean,
you should have turned around and be like, I don't understand. I'm sorry.
You look like you could speak Spanish.
Yeah. I've been spoken to many a times.
Yeah.
I want to learn Spanish just so that way I can, like, what do you say? I was going to say pretend, but I also like the idea of just learning Spanish. And then maybe that's my people pleaser side.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I do want to learn Spanish. I always thought, like, it would be more exciting if I was Spanish for some reason. I don't know what it was, but I became obsessed with it. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And keep working on that bod. Well, that was not shade, by the way. That was not shade.
Well, when the gyms open up again, I will try to work on that butt again.
I mean, it's a real roller coaster because I feel like every episode that we talk, we're like kind of like, oh, things maybe relax or something, and then it's like, boom. Yeah, we're back down. Everything's logged back down. Yeah, that bitch is back. Rona.
We're still here, recording, but with keeping a safe distance and all.
Yes, I'm wondering if this room has an echo.
I
guess it doesn't matter because we're recording anyway. Yeah.
So I want to make it. I want to also make it known that we are recording this episode at Jimmy's place.
What does that mean? If it's bad quality, you're gonna say some shit.
Exactly. And remember, like on the first episode, you were like, oh, like I have to come to you and blah blah blah.
That's true. Oh, so, it was such a luxury. I just sat here.
I proposed. Come in here. See, I am the good person in this podcast.
Okay, well, let's skip past that idea because we know that's not true. We were trying to take some little video for social medias, and he's like, I don't like that one. I don't like that one. That one's okay. I'm like, that one's fun. He's like, no.
The way my hand comes in the way.
He's like, I don't like my hand there. But then he put his hand there anyway.
Again.
I was like, I don't understand what you want from this. I think that your directions are very confusing.
Welcome to my head.
So what do you want to talk about today?
Yeah. So I actually, since I don't know why, but like, when I told you the gym idea, the gym story.
Yes.
And you told me.
You just said since you told you the gym story.
I don't know.
That was
I
like
can't
5 seconds
today.
ago. Anyway.
I can't speak English today or any language for that matter. So when I was telling you this gym story, after you told me about to keep working on my butt and that was not a shade.
It was not shade. I was congratulating you.
I'm gonna put this topic here on the table.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with your body or are you ashamed of it?
Ooh. Things just got real. We need like some sound effects or something. So that is it's a very complicated question because I feel like as I get older, I do accept it more, but I do definitely have moments where I'm just like ugh, I don't like it, and but there's a lot of like shame from younger years that I'm like kind of accepting now. Also, recently I just as you do, you go to the gym. I've started to change some habits in my life. Actually, with Corona kicking in, you can't go to the bars, so it's like I haven't had a beer or even a glass of wine in a while. So that's probably good. That's actually really good for my body. But yeah, complicated question. It's a yes and a no. It depends on what day.
I guess if we make it less complicated, because also welcome to my head. Like if it's a complicated way, that's the way we're gonna go.
I mean, exactly. My answer was like 5 minutes long. You asked me a yes or no question, and I gave you a whole essay.
So,
my sister would hate that answer. She'd be like, "Just get to the point."
Are you comfortable with your body? Hey.
Yeah. I am. Yes. Currently, yes.
Previously, no.
Yeah. Honestly, like, if you would have asked me that question just a month ago,
when did that change though?
Being comfortable with my body?
Yeah.
Well, it has to do with one. I think recently I did lose a little bit of weight, but also when I was. So my body really fluctuates. So like it would go up and down and stuff like that. And I got like, that moment when you see a picture of yourself and you were like, whoa, I looked good then.
Yeah.
But in that moment you were like, oh, I hate this. I hate the, extra chunk that I can grab and like all of that. But I would say probably within the past 5 years or so of my life did I start to really like accept my body and think that like what I have is good and I like it. Like where I had because before that I always like I could always find something negative and like really not appreciate it so much. Which was an odd thing because I remember being thinner and I loved the way I looked in clothes. But at the same time, I didn't like my body.
Huh.
It was a weird thing. Like, because I see myself in clothes and I'd be like, oh, I look really nice, blah, blah, blah. This, fits me well. But I did not like my body then. I'd kill for that body now, though. To be honest, it's a little baby with. I've
seen pictures, because I have been going through your Facebook to get pictures for the podcast.
Creepy ass bitch.
Sure. Let it be known that I asked Jimmy for a picture once, and I had to go through his Facebook to get it because he would not give me a picture. Like. He just stopped responding for like 2 days.
Because you sent me that and I was like, oh my god, yeah, okay, I'm gonna take the picture. And I was like, but I had an idea of how I wanted the picture to be.
But thanks to that, I've been doing the last minute Photoshop things with our faces.
I'm gonna say that Photoshop that you did of the orchid thing is so creepy and amazing, and I think it depicts how people see me actually when I'm talking about the orchid love. They're like.
So if you haven't heard the episode, just go back to episode 3.
Yes,
called your kid
absolutely.
episode. I
Yes.
mean, it's called
Yes.
your kid episode. But yeah, I think I'm gonna respond to the question myself, to my own
Mhm.
question.
Mhm.
Like, I've always had like some compartmentalizations about my body.
Mhm.
Like, for example, uh, I always thought it was just like the norm
Mhm.
to take off your shirt when you were at the beach or at the pool,
Mhm.
and I couldn't really understand why some people wouldn't do that.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, but I would do it even though I've always been on the chubbier side.
Mhm.
I've never seen it as like as an issue.
Mhm.
So maybe I don't have that like body shame to that level.
Yeah.
But like there had been some things like when I was growing up and I remember this thing. There was this school trip. It
Mhm.
was like a end of the year party
Yeah. Yeah.
thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was in ninth grade, and around that time, I started growing like a bit of like uh, hair in my chest, but it was all uneven.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
nope. So I shaved it, and
Ah.
because I thought it would be like very weird.
Mhm.
Now I am very proud of my hairy chest.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. Look at me. No,
Mhm.
like I'm okay with that. I don't really I don't really think about that. But like maybe back then, maybe it was a question of miscrackering it. Like it was a question of aesthetics. Like if I have like one hair here and one hair on the other end of my.
I mean, I can completely believe that's how you would think about it.
But with the whole uh, queer disjunctive coming out, like remember like on the first episode, like how I would steer clear of cardigans. We're
Yes.
throwing like references to like previous episodes. I don't know why,
I
but
think that is a great thing.
yeah. So like I would steer clear from cardigans because I would think those were dead giveaways about being queer
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So I would not go for some types of clothing.
Yeah.
Or and growing up, growing up in my family,
Yeah.
where one of my relatives was very into looks, and I remember like it was it was a relative that you don't see until the holidays come around. So it's almost like a whole year comes by when you see them,
Yeah.
and the very first thing you're told, and this is a Latino thing. This happens all the time.
Mhm.
It's not just my family in particular. It happens everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's how I experienced it. Like there's like a relative that doesn't see you in a while,
Mhm.
and the very first thing you get told when they see you is like, oh my god, you are too fat, or you are too skinny, or your hair is too
Mm.
long, or oh my god, why are you growing a beard? So you start questioning all those decisions,
Yeah.
and at some point you develop some kind of shame because
Yeah, some complex.
yeah, especially like if you're a man or if you're male presenting and like you have such long hair. Yeah, you look like, and then homophobic slurs,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
or oh my god, you're too fat, and stuff like that. Like there was
Mhm.
one time that I was at this New Year's Eve party,
Mhm.
and I was just watching TV, minding my own business, waiting for the for
The
for
countdown.
midnight for the countdown to come,
Oh yeah.
for midnight to happen,
Kisses.
and this relative in particular just sits next to me, and I can just feel it. I can just feel a comment coming,
Oh God, Karen.
and then they grab my leg. 'Cause I'm not using pronouns, but they grab my leg, and then they tell me, promise me that in the year that's about to come, you're gonna lose some weight.
Oh my God.
And then and then I can't not be happy about that comment. And they double down with like, I know this bothers you, but I'm telling you this for your own good.
Mind your mother business. This is my body.
Yeah.
Because
But
there's a difference between health, like saying like, "Hey, I'm worried about your health," and then and there's a certain way that you go about it, but and then saying to somebody just like be skinny,
Yeah.
because
But it got to the
healthy
point.
and skinny are two different
Yeah.
things.
It got to the point where, I mean, in retrospective, I probably should have lost some weight or done something about it. But like, it got to a point where whenever that comment, that topic, just happened around me, like it just came up. Like even when my mom told me something in good in a good manner,
Mm-hmm.
I would instantly just like, I'm not gonna talk about it. Like, this is no.
Yeah, because it
I
makes you
would just
defensive.
I would get super defensive.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I, started accepting more in all the other ways that you get to accept yourself.
Yeah.
Like this going to the gym thing, or like last year, for example, when I got super seasonally depressed,
Mm-hmm.
but because it gets a bit dark in
Oh
here,
my god.
and I hadn't taken vitamin D
Mm-hmm.
ever since I got here. So the seasonal depression
Ooh,
last
hit you
year
hard.
hit me pretty hard. So I started taking vitamin D, and I started going to boxing lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And in a month of doing that, I was like, I don't want to kill myself anymore.
Yeah, right.
It was, I mean, something like that.
Yeah.
But I really saw some changes. So that was like, okay, now I'm going to start to make it like a regular thing. And
Yeah.
2020, with this whole stability
Oh
thing.
my god.
I,
Stability is thrown out the window.
yeah, I started going to the gym, and I had actually been making very good progress up until March, when in the first wave, when they closed everything, and I've been trying to do like home workouts, but it's not the same. Like I like the ritual of walking to the gym, going back, and just like doing that before I start my day at school, at the lake school, and then just come home and take a nap.
I mean, I think that's the thing for a lot of people that do go to the gym, is they like that ritual to get them kind of motivated. It's because then it becomes a habit, and it's not so much of a pain. Because for me, that was what the gym was when I started. So in high school, I took a weightlifting class.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked it, but I had a lot of complexes with it, because there was the complex of being around like a bunch of like real straight people and that whole thing, and it made me feel uncomfortable there.
SAME, same.
Yeah, I for a second thought you were saying shame, and I was like, you forgot the H. But yeah, it was a lot of that, like being around straight guys. The girls didn't really bother me so much. We were just chit chatting.
Sorry to cut you off there, but when I started the boxing lessons, that was the very same thing that happened to me. When I was walking towards the place, I would just hear this voice in my head, like, "Who are you kidding? Like, you don't really belong here." Like,
yeah.
But as I kept on going, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Oops. But F it.
You already said it.
I already said it. Yeah. and I don't know how to bleep out words, so it's gonna get it.
Yes.
So yeah. So it took me some training to
yeah, because it's that kind of imposter syndrome thing that kicks in too. It's like, what am I doing here? I'm not, because there's that, like I'm not maybe like man enough. I'm not, my body is out of shape. I can't lift a certain amount or something like that. But in that class, I actually did learn, like I gained some confidence, and I learned a little bit more about my body in a healthy way, because it was all before that was a very unhealthy way. Like I had like a real complex because my family has is gifted with having a large derrieres. We have big butts, and I love it. Like I don't know if it was, my mom was always like, pinching my butt as a kid or whatever. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but like I appreciated my butt, but like I remember like hating parts of my body. Like I hated my thighs; they were too big. I thought like my stomach and like my whole chest area was like so unattractive, and this moments when you just feel like you're gross. And I also, because I was short, I didn't feel like you have this, it became this whole complex. Like I felt like I was too short, I was too chubby, um because as a kid I was chubby,
Mm.
and I I kind of slimmed out through my teenage years. And then there was a period where I got like really sad, and then I kind of I guess yeah, I guess I did kind of like eat to to like make myself feel better, and I saw it in the pictures, and I remember seeing a picture of myself and being like, "Oh my god, that's disgusting."
Mm.
And it's so like it hurts me now to think that about myself, to think that I thought that I was disgusting, because I know that's so bad. It's so bad. Like I would never want Laurus or any of my kids or anybody to think that about themselves, but you're kind of put in this weird, the way society is and stuff like that. But I also felt it very much through the queer community, because I felt like I wasn't like a muscle person. I wasn't like a skinny little twink.
Ooh, are we
I
gonna go
wasn't.
there?
Yeah, we're gonna go there, because I never felt, like I've always been like this kind of in between all of the worlds
Yeah,
possible. And so when it came to my body too, I completely felt that I didn't fit in anywhere. Like I wasn't here or there or anywhere. And because I didn't fit in anywhere, and it's in it, of course there's a lot of it to do with my own self-confidence and insecurity, then that people pick up on and then don't find that attractive. I know that now,
yeah,
but I definitely felt like because of me being like in between the realm of nowhere, like if I would have been thin and then shaved my body, then maybe I would have been considered more attractive to people.
yeah.
But I didn't like maintenance. Nah, I'm not gonna go. Sorry, that's not my thing.
So there is now that we've officially gone there.
Yeah.
Uh, like there's this thing. Like I do agree with the way that the also your own self consciousness or your
Mm-hmm.
own body shame,
Mm-hmm.
at least in me, also manifested in in being a bit repulsed, not repulsed, but like having a bit a weird reaction or a weird attitude
Mm-hmm.
to this whole thirst picture, thirst
Yeah.
trap kind of
Yeah.
thing, and it's always nice to see on Instagram feed with like people in thirsty pictures and all that. Like
Yeah.
let's not deny that,
Yeah.
but I never felt uh attractive enough to do
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
even on the times where I would be like, yeah, like you would be feeling your oats,
Mm-hmm.
as kids say. uh, I would like take a picture and I'd be like, no. I would like delete it right away,
Mm-hmm.
or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get to accept yourself, like maybe you take the picture and it stays there because it's a
Yeah.
reference point. Like now
Yeah.
with the gym stuff, I usually take pictures for progress.
Yeah,
And they're just like, the regular pictures, and I don't really care. But I would kind of have this attitude that people use this thirst trap thing on the internet in the queer community as currency.
It is 100% currency.
So they give themselves value because of that.
Yes.
But also that I also had to learn that the it's them, doesn't, what they do, what they post doesn't necessarily reflect on who you are and your value as a person.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have any less value because you are not at the standard of the thirst pictures.
Yeah, and it's really difficult to get to that point, to say to yourself, like, this is me and this is okay. I like how I look. I like the position that my body's in now. And there's there's two things I want to mention, because I want to mention something about the gym and people being cynical. But I also want to mention, because when we're talking about value and your body, this is one thing that me and my best friend always talked about, is like, so if somebody looks at us and we're not at the value of say, like, all those thirsty pictures out there, like, I don't have a 6-pack abs, I don't have big, like, what would you say, firm pecs, yeah. And like, my body isn't toned, but I had been maybe working on my body, and I lost a certain amount of weight that I was wanting to, and I fit in maybe a certain clothes that I was hoping to fit into. And so what I think is so horrible is then, instead of thinking like, look at, I reached my goal for myself to look good for me, we look at how other people see us. So maybe the other person says like, oh my God, look at that fat person. They don't have any abs. Yeah. They don't have a toned body.
And in Latino culture, I'm going to go back to Latino culture. Like, one of the reasons also, maybe was a fear of mine. I'm going to put it out there. Maybe it was a fear that if I stick to something like that, and I made it a habit and all that, and I reached a goal that was personal and I felt comfortable with, and I would tell somebody in my family or something, or this relative, specifically, that I had lost some weight, I would get a reply like, "But you still have some more weight to go."
See, yes.
And I would be like, "Why are you doing this to me?"
Yes, that's my other point, is because, so let's say then, okay, you reach that goal and I feel good about myself, and people don't know where you came from, so then they judge you on that. But the other thing is, I remember thinking, I will never, if I'm going to set a goal for myself, I'm not putting it on Facebook. I'm not telling anybody. I'm not doing anything like that, because I remember seeing people put stuff on Facebook like, I lost weight, or I did this and that. And then if you gain that weight back, oh, you better believe everybody's talking about it, because people are so quick to some people will be like, oh, congratulations, good for you. And the other thing that I think is so unhealthy, because when you think about people, I was thinking about Adele, is you think about somebody was trying to do something for the health of themselves, instead of it being about healthy choices, it's about how skinny are you, how thin are you, how, something like that. And I think it shouldn't be about that. It should be how you feel, because there's a whole mental thing to it. Because at one point I was really skinny, but mentally it was not a good thing. I was depressed. Yeah. I was really watching what I was eating, and it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't exactly anorexia or anything like that, but it was really, really borderline on a lot of fucked up shit.
Now, right? You could say that you organized the inside, but the outside is still a mess.
Yeah.
Mess with potential.
Yes. But it's a real line that you have to balance, and then people are so quick to tear you down once if you gain weight, or if you know,
Yeah.
if you fall back into
But I think
somewhere else.
that's another thing. Like, people are always gonna talk whether you gain weight, whether you lost, you gain, you stay on the same weight,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
People are always gonna have comments
Yeah.
or opinions.
Yeah.
If the thing is, we have to learn to disconnect from those opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you said this thing about like putting pictures of in the gym and stuff, like I would post pictures of my workouts when I started 2020,
Mm-hmm.
so I could have like like a progress, not
Yeah.
progress, but like a record,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just, at the end of every week, of every workout week,
Mm-hmm.
I would write a bit of like what I learned in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But if you post a picture every single day after the gym and say like, gym check or gym done,
Mm-hmm.
that's up to you. Like, I also
That
have
is
to.
your
I
business.
I personally, I'm still training to disconnect from the judging of that. I still will judge you, but then I will judge myself for judging you.
Yeah.
So,
As we talked about in the personality, I
it
don't know,
comes
is
in.
our personality episode out
Yeah,
yet? It
no.
will be. Oh,
Maybe by the time we
Yeah.
post this, it will already be.
We've already talked about your judginess. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it is a difficult a road, to navigate,
Yeah.
because if you, and I think culturally, that's the thing, is like, I think if you go to different cultures, there's different standards, of course, of beauty and body. So maybe being skinny is like too, it's not desired and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I just, of course, in the dream world, it would just be about who cares, and we would lose vanity, like we would forget vanity. But it's difficult to
I
do
mean,
such a
no,
thing.
vanity. I think it's not as bad as it's um, publicized.
I know, but
Because
vanity also.
you can use it, be like, I'm like
I mean, you
I,
can appreciate yourself, but the
yeah.
problem with vanity, I think, is that in society it goes so extreme, and people also pushing their opinions about what you should look like.
But that's when you connect it to what other people say.
Yeah.
But if you have vanity over yourself and how you look, like this drag queen that feels her oats all the time. Knock on lega.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is this. But one thing that I wanted to circle back to the whole insecurities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna borrow this story because it comes from what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Matt, if you're listening. I'm gonna borrow your story. So, like, Matt is a guy that does like personal training
Mm-hmm.
online
Mm-hmm.
for LGBT people.
That's great.
Yeah. So he's on several groups and stuff. Like, he's really good. He's basically a golden retriever in human form, like pushing you to do your thing and follow on your fitness or at your own level. Matt, you should actually pay
I
me
was
for
gonna
this.
say, Matt, can I get a trial and then we can promote you? Is this something we're talking about now?
But I mean, this is not sponsored. But like, if you, it's
He'll be like, y'all don't have enough followers to sponsor me anyway.
yeah, actually. But Matt from Feeder You Global, that's the site. So he was he has a Facebook group, or I don't think if it was a Facebook group or if it was like his own personal Facebook, I don't remember, where he shared a story from another Facebook group that he's in, like where there was some guy that wanted to find the way to get abs right now, and then he as a personal trainer asked like why, and then gave advice based on like on the insights, or on like he gave him insight and perspective on is it actually a goal you have, or is it gonna cover something else? So I don't know. I don't even remember the story 100%. But the reply that Matt got in the group was that this guy was looking to get apps so that he could get quote unquote quality dating options or something, or like increase the quality of his dating options. And I saw that. I saw that story that he shared, and I didn't. I said, like, I would have left that group then and there, because when I heard that line, like, increases quality options, like, just because you have 6-pack abs, like that, there's a lot to unpack there, and I'm not gonna judge this guy, but it ignited some of my insecurities, at least being both on the chubbier side, but also being an immigrant, because so now the whole shame spiral kind of like got bigger, or had too many another component of it, because dating as an immigrant, and this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen also in Iceland, but in the other countries I've lived in, when you are dating as an immigrant, you kind of have to go past that point where the other person, or like, kind of have to convince the other person that you're dating them because you like them and not because you're securing your papers with this person. So at least in my experiences, people have been slightly more aware, or like, or a bit more like harder to reach, and because of that. And I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody to do my immigration work. I'm fine.
Bitch, you're legal. He's always been legal, but
I've always been legal. But I'm legal.
He's more permanent.
Yeah, but I don't need anybody to secure my papers.
Yeah.
Like, if tomorrow I get deported, please don't you tell. But if tomorrow something happens and I have to leave Iceland, I'm not gonna jump into marrying someone because of my papers. And that's one of the things that I like, and that I feel like I've had against me. So it creates a whole other level of insecurities. Yeah. So I not only not have a self-consciousness about, like, like, maybe I'm a bit too chubby here, maybe there, and I want to, like, be leaner here, but also now, oh no, this brown boy is hitting on me because he maybe wants to secure his papers or something.
He's using me.
Yeah.
To stay here in the country. I mean, that is a whole, Jesus Christ, that is a whole nother level. I'm so upset right now. Like, I know this is the point of the podcast, and I think it is so important to be able to talk about these things, because we talk about something light one episode and then try and talk about something that's more, heavy. But it just makes me so upset, because the sad part is, I completely get what that guy is talking about. And if you can't find stability in yourself, and you can't put your 2 feet on the ground, if you never find that balance in yourself, you're always going to be searching for a way to be, like, accepted and be a part of a group. And I've always, since I was younger, because I've, like I said, I like straddle worlds in between this and that and that and that. I've always felt like an outcast. I've always felt like I never belonged to any group, and which is sometimes very lonely, but it also is the thing that I think today that has allowed me to just, like, look at myself and be like, it's okay to be alone. Like, that's fine. You're gonna be fine. It's really okay. And to then, like I said, accept my body for what it is now. But I understand, because I always felt like if I lose a certain amount of weight, if I look a certain way with my body, I will be more desirable because I already have stuff against me. Like I always thought, like, well, I'm short, I'm this, I'm that, like, and it is a reality that like the skin tone does have a difference, and depending on whatever country it is, because but I felt like let me finish this
Sure.
idea because
Yeah.
it then it connects with another
But
thing.
I'm kind of gonna be talking until to fill up the silences here.
But wait, I got it. Then you become more of you are basing your self-worth on the idea of being a sexual object rather than being who you are and being liked for your personality and anything like that, which is also my thing that I felt living in other countries sometimes is being your fantasy and your a kink.
Yeah.
So then I had to start really thinking about like, who am I? What do I want? What's going on? Because like sex is sex. Sex is fun. Sex should be all of those things to be enjoyed and everything like that. But when a relationship, if you want something more, and then that's all people will see you for, then you have to start thinking about like, okay, who am I? What am I presenting? And is my body the only thing that I want to present?
Yeah, it's a weird marketing thing
Mm-hmm.
because you have to think about so many variables
Yeah.
from within yourself, and then once you find like maybe this variable is not, I'm not that good in there, then
Mm-hmm.
all of these other things that you may have going for yourself go down the drain, or like you forget about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, like I'm also like not the tallest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm I'm average. I'm average for South America, average height. Well,
Mm-hmm.
everybody here is like about 3 meters tall. And
I'm gonna say I'm Latin then because
so, but when I do these things, when I start thinking about these things, then like the fact that
sorry, can you guys hear the running water in the background?
I
I'm
don't know
sorry.
if you can hear that.
This is a serious episode and the water's running in the background.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, wait, this is the ASMR part of the episode.
Yes.
Don't focus on our voices. Just
Oh
hear
my
the water
God,
if you
we
hear
are
it.
such a mess. It's like so deep
But-
into a thought, and then
But
this.
let me continue.
Yes.
So what was I saying? Like all of these things that you have for yourself suddenly just turn transparent. Like you don't actually see them. But like, yeah, I may not be the tallest person. I may be a bit on the chubbier side. But I don't want to be skinny. Like I've known that all my life. Like I don't want to be skinny. Like I want to not be as chubby, but I actually like being. I actually like my chubby self, and that's the kind of type of guy I go for. But
He's just throwing that out there.
throwing that out there. But yeah, but I also have all these things like I am quick to think. I like to think I'm intelligent. I like to think
You are intelligent.
I-
I'm gonna
I-
throw compliments now. This is the episode to give compliments.
yeah. I have all these things that make me interesting, but I stop seeing them because I don't have this image.
Yeah.
Like, and
I
it's just so
hate
weird.
it.
And it's weird, and it's very weird because I should actually say like I should actually use this like, yeah, I mean I'm witty, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a very creative person, etc. etc. I am always trying to do stuff. Like if I'm not doing lettering, I'm doing a podcast, or I'm trying to get better at stand up, or I like to work with kids. I like kids. And
You're creative, you're kind, you're nurturing,
I can use my judging for good.
yeah, exactly.
So I stopped seeing all these things because I don't feel like, oh no, if I was 1.80 m at least,
Yes.
if I had a little bit less of a gut, like and that doesn't really matter. Like, I don't know. I don't care. Like, that's why when I get when I get comments on like my weight and stuff, I just kind of roll my eyes back as far as I can, because I that doesn't define my worth. And you know,
I mean, that's so good because, I mean, like I said at the beginning, I have these back and forth moments. So I have a moment, so I shaved my head because, well, they closed the salons. But I felt so good after it, and I was looking at myself and I saw my face, and for some reason I looked at myself completely different. I
yeah.
was
See, I would never shave my head completely. I would never give myself a buzz cut.
But you know the thing is, my sister was always telling me, you should shave it, you would look so nice. I'm like, no, no, no. But it was also that kind of vanity where I thought my hair meant so much about who I was, and it gave me a certain look, and I wanted to present a certain look.
I wanted to dye my hair.
You can still do that. You should do that.
I was gonna.
And I mean, I think it's about what you want rather than anything else. But when I did that, I felt really empowered, and I loved how I looked and stuff, and I looked at myself differently. But I also know, because I set a goal for myself to just do something simple as like 20 push-ups a day. It's not a lot, but it's a beginning, and it's some exercise, some bit of movement.
Yeah.
And I feel like, great that I'm doing this little step. But the saddest part of it all is that even though I look at myself in the mirror in one moment and I think I look great, I know that if I went to my grandmother and she said something like, "Oh, you look like you're getting bigger," or if I have a friend or a coworker, I know that if somebody said something to me, that it would hit me and it would hurt me more than I would want them to know. And I hope that through time, through each day, I will, maybe after this episode it will actually help me with that, is I will be able to shut down those comments and tune out those voices more. But it is such a difficult thing, because sometimes I remember specifically feeling so good. I was visiting a family member. Yeah, well, we won't be there. And I remember I didn't really notice, because I don't notice my weight gain immediately. It just goes up and down, like I said. And I remember somebody saying like, "Oh, looks like you got a bigger ass now." And I was like, for me, if I got a bigger ass, I don't care. I'm happy about it. But I also know then, like, my body is then changing, and yeah. And the thing is that it doesn't necessarily mean that I am sad or depressed. Sometimes I just relax, and I just eat what I want to eat and do what I want to do, or whatever. And maybe I'm not, exercising as much or something.
Yeah, and also in the middle of a pandemic, please, like, if you wanna call that second pizza, order that second pizza in the middle of the week, do that. Like,
do you, boo?
Because I mean, we're all gonna die anyways, and also if it helps in any way.
That was so positive. We're all gonna die anyways, so yeah, let's just end this podcast.
That's always, anybody that knows me here will attest to it, that one of the things that I say is like, if nobody dies at the end of this, then it was a success. So that's my measure of success for a bunch of things.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we're all gonna die anyways, and it, like, are you actually gonna die if you deny yourself that extra pizza or whatever? Like, if you're actually doing other things, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But I've learned that when I started in 2020 with the going to the gym and being advised by Matt. This is not sponsored, but that it's just a little by little. Like you can go to the gym one day, and then if you stop going to the gym 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't erase anything.
Yeah.
And if I had been taking a bit of like uh, doing a bit of math, like I mark on my calendar
Mm-hmm.
with a dot or something the
Mm-hmm.
days that I go to the gym, and at the end of the year, I am pretty sure, hopefully, if they reopen the gyms after after this wave, that
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have more dots that indicate that I went to the gym
Mm-hmm.
from empty spaces that I didn't go to the gym, even if those empty spaces were like next to one another.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it works. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be an athlete. I
Yeah.
don't want I don't want to um I don't want to you know have my life revolve around going to the gym. I want to go to the
Yeah.
gym because of me.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like when I started, also someone told me that, oh, you've been going to the gym, you've been doing it, consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always wanted to have like a gym partner, and I told this person, like, I'm sorry, but when I go to the gym, it's a bit more of me time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really go to socialize,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's not that I don't want to go with you. It's not that
Yeah.
I don't like you,
Mm-hmm.
but the gym is like me time.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. I think because for me, I can't go to the gym and do like treadmill lifting or something with people. But if I go into a class, for example, when I started going to the gym, when I moved to Iceland, I was with my aunt and we had the best time because we went to Zumba and then we tried out different classes like body pump and Tabata. And we did all these things and I felt good then. And I didn't think about necessarily how much my body was changing until later, but we did it for fun too, and that's what I love. Like I love dancing, and that's what I want to do when things open back up, is join a
Yeah.
dancing class and stuff. But
But
one
classes
thing,
classes are nice. I would go with someone to a class.
yeah, because that's also different. But I get what you mean about the alone thing, because I can't go and talk and walk. I can't. I'm not that person.
No.
But one thing that did change for me, when I thought about my body, instead of it being like a token of anything, was I was in New York and went to the Body Museum,
Yeah.
and it's all these cadavers, uh, with it's like real bodies that have been preserved and presented. So you see the muscle, you see the different, like you see the body without the skin.
Yeah.
And my best friend was talking about she wanted to go to this, and I kind of did it like for her in a way.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad I went because it changed how I think of my body. Instead of, I remember at that moment thinking, my body isn't just something to be admired and to be abused because of what people think. My body is something amazing, and it's this thing that our bones break and then they can heal. And and in this body museum, they were talking about the way diseases affect different bodies and stuff like that. And diabetes is a very big thing in my family on both sides. So I remember leaving that museum and for the first time thinking, I need to take care of my body because it's the only body that I have, and I want to see it grow, and I kind of want to preserve it, or whatever
Yeah.
you want to say. Um, and it's the first time I took diabetes seriously. I because when you're younger, my sister was always telling me you need to be careful about what you do with your body because diabetes is so deep in your in the family. And I was just like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, 18, 19, 20.
You brush it off.
Yeah, I'm like, I ain't got time to think about that. I'm enjoying my life. But then it hit me that everything now is going to affect me later as well. So I remember thinking, like, I can enjoy things, like if I want to drink I can drink, but I don't need to drink heavily. And if I want to have something sweet, I can
Yeah.
do things in moderation. And it made me think about how what I do with my body and how I present it and stuff like that. So I do remember that was a
Yeah.
switching
I
point in my mind.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I was gonna say something about the drinking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, coming from Venezuela,
Mm-hmm.
like people start drinking very very early,
Mm-hmm.
and like and for the most part, liquor stores do not ID you, do not
Mm-hmm.
ID anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, when I was in the Boy Scouts back in Venezuela, there was a specific point
It's
where
hilarious
where
connecting
uh,
these two.
where well it's the Scouts back in Venezuela, because the Boy Scouts doesn't, but I'm Americanizing it all. So it's just, when I was in the Scouts back in Venezuela, there was a specific point in time around my 16 17s when, after every Scout reunion, we were like, okay, so where are we gonna drink tonight?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and everybody would just like put a bit of money, and we would get underage drunk. That was horrible.
I love that,
Please.
that statement, underage drunk, because that is a very specific kind of drinking.
Yeah. And I mean, laws in Venezuela are optional. If you haven't heard the state of the country right now, you realize that this is a minor thing in the whole spectrum of things that are going bad with Venezuela. Yeah. But I learned two things with getting underage drunk on a regular basis, which was, the first one, I stopped seeing alcohol as a forbidden thing, as a taboo.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you actually have if you're propense, like if you're, no, that's a Spanish word, that if you are prone prone to alcoholism, and you have these feelings, like, go get help. But like, I unfortunately didn't have those, so I stopped seeing alcohol as a forbidden thing. Yeah. And through those things, I learned to know how my body felt, and I knew when to stop. Like, I started knowing when to stop. Yeah. Because I didn't wanna be in a situation where I was so drunk I didn't know what to do or whatever. And by the time I was 21, actually, 21, 22, that I went to the States for my exchange program. I actually was old enough to drink there. And I remember one of my roommates turned 21 while I was on there. Yeah. And he would buy beers every single day after he turned 21, because he wanted to make up for the lost time. Yeah. And and me, having gone from like getting underage drunk, I was like, there's enough time. Yeah. Yeah. Please.
You just wait. You wait it out.
Just wait. You waited it out. That's fine. Yeah. Like, and I don't drink that much anymore. I could sometimes even, I mean, also because FYI, alcohol in Iceland is expensive.
It is so expensive.
It's a luxury. Like,
I mean, if you get beer and wine, it's more reasonable. But if you better not be thinking about no cocktails.
Yeah. So, that if you wanna stop drinking, move to Iceland.
This is another one of our tangents.
If you wanna stop drinking, move to Iceland.
In COVID time, that's the best time to do it, actually.
Yeah, but and where was I going with this? Yeah, that I stopped. That I don't drink that much anymore, and I don't really care. Like, I've gotten drunk here in this country.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't see, like, I don't need alcohol to party. Yeah. Like, but yeah, like, I've also, this is a tangent about alcohol and stuff, but like, I learned, like,
we're veering to the left.
This is a car that's spinning. Let's do donuts. We're just doing donuts.
We'll get back to shame and body in just a moment.
Maybe. Yeah. But I guess to close it off, it's just, shame is basically the result of you being connected to other people's comments. If
Mm-hmm.
you and this is a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to disconnect
Mm-hmm.
from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but and it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And also, to kind of close it off the exercise thing, the going to the gym, like, or
Mm-hmm.
why I did it, why I did it, like when it was the seasonal depression thing. But I also got the voice of like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. When I started
Yeah.
going to the gym, like I felt
Mm-hmm.
really out of place. Like I felt like people were looking at me when I was when I was being a
Completely.
mess. When I was being a mess with like weights, or that I would start doing a set with a weight and be like, this is very heavy. I'm gonna go to a I'm gonna get a lighter one so I can finish
Mm-hmm.
this part of the workout. In my head, it would be like, oh, look at the little delicate flower that can lift. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was all in my head.
Yeah.
And even worse, because I'm saying little delicate flower, but in my head I'll be like little delicate girl. But like, girls are stronger
I
than
mean,
me.
if I showed you my sister's Instagram right
Yeah.
now,
So
both of my sisters, gee,
girls can
all
also
of
be
them.
strong, but it's the things that you have in your head
Mm-hmm.
that play tricks on you. Nobody is looking at you at the gym, well, except that guy that looked at me and asked if
If you were,
if I was legal in this country. But outside of this guy,
but when you think about it, he didn't even ask you a body question. He just asked you if you were
yeah,
illegally here or not. So
but
he wasn't even thinking about
yeah,
that.
he wasn't even looking at my technique. Oh no,
No.
he's running very weirdly. No. Is he legal in this country? I'm just gonna go ask just to be sure.
Oh.
But and I started, one of the things that helped me to overcome that is that I am pretty much a nerd. Like, I like learning things. Uh like I like learning languages. I like doing school work and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't judge myself to not know everything, because I know I'm going to school to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
And I started treating going to the gym and doing all these things the same thing. Like, I'm also learning this skill,
Mm-hmm.
which is the movements
Mm-hmm.
that you do when you do burpees, which are the devil.
Oh my God. I
Or
think anybody that does burpees thinks it's the devil.
or like when you look at videos in YouTube or stuff from the workouts that you get,
Mm-hmm.
that how to position the weights and how to,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
the angles of everything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you also have to learn those things so that
Mm-hmm.
the exercise is as effective as it can be.
Yeah.
So it's also a skill in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started looking at that
Mm-hmm.
on those terms,
Mm-hmm.
then I approach the gym with a bit more of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say
Then it's
sometimes,
more
I'm a
exciting.
mess.
Yeah.
I'm a mess when
I
I'm doing this. But it wouldn't be tied to shame. It would be more tied to, like, oh, I'm learning.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, I think that's a really good way to think about it too. And for me, it was also about two things. Was like I would complain about something, and then I actually I don't like complaining. Like, I don't like listening to complaints and stuff.
I
So I always
love complaining.
I mean, I cannot listen to it. And I mean, I'm sure I complain a lot, but I start thinking, shut up. What can you do to solve the problem? Either one, you accept your body for the way it is now, or you do something to change it. And so that was what motivated me. And the other thing was, it may sound very like cheesy and cliche, but it was just to forgive myself, like that idea that you were talking about, like, you don't have to go every day if there's a day in between or whatever it is. And so for me, I had to think, like, what do I want from myself, what do I want from my body, and to say that it's okay. And if I'm a certain way one month, then the next month it's different, then that's okay. um but because it's so connected to our bodies and our minds, and they affect each other so much. And I hate shame and guilt, and I hate these things because I think they can be in some way I don't know. Is shame in any way good? I mean, to end this whole thing, is there anything good that comes from shame or guilt? I know we weren't talking about guilt, but I kind of like connect them.
I don't know. I don't think. First, I don't think guilt and shame can be connected, but I don't have the theory to back that up.
We won't tie guilt in this because then we'll be here for another hour.
Yeah,
but
I actually do not think anything positive comes from shame, because if you try to shame someone into losing weight, for example, which is the whole thing of this episode, by oh my god, you're so fat, oh my god, look how big you are.
Yeah, it's just
like,
so negative.
The only thing you create is a potential eating disorder on the other person.
Exactly. You just complete a
complex. Or the other thing you could generate if this person doesn't develop an eating disorder is that they at the first chance they get cut you off from their lives.
Yeah.
Because they don't want that kind of they don't want that kind of
negativity.
Crap.
We don't need that negativity in my life.
No. Right. So and this is one of the things that this second thing was one of the things that I kind of decided more or less, but not completely. So I've limited interactions with the people that do these things, because I have to look after myself, and looking after myself is also not welcoming these types of comments.
Yeah, because it's very, very that's heavy on you, on your mind and in your body, and it changes a lot of things.
But no, like actually, I don't think anything positive comes from shame, because you don't really encourage a behavior.
No, I think shame actually is the most. It's one of the most. What would you say? It's one of the most toxic, things that you can do. Like, when you think about shame as its whole, if you shame a child, if you shame a person into speaking in front of people, if you shame anybody, it's not good. And I think, okay, people may say something like shaming as far as maybe comedy, but I'm not even going to go down that route. I think shame is just not a good thing. I remember having to tell myself, don't be ashamed of stuff. Get rid of shame, and you can do so much more. We limit ourselves so much when we feel ashamed.
Yeah.
So
true. And you know, there's nothing positive that comes from shame. And yeah, the thing is, shame is also, you know what? This is gonna get really a bit heavier, but I'm gonna get to the point, boy. I'm gonna say it.
You better get to the point.
I'm holding back because I don't want this to go longer, but I'm gonna say it. Please don't comment on it. Do you know who also works on shame?
That is not nice. I'm gonna say it, but don't comment on it. Okay, keep going. So,
you know what also works on shame? Like, works fueled by shame.
What?
Religion.
Whoo, I am not going to comment on that because we need another episode for that. That is really a touchy subject, but it is really...
Yeah, like, sex and all that stuff. But the things you don't want to talk...
We should do shame part 2.
We're going to do a shame part 2.
We're going to do a shame part 2.
We're going to do a shame part 2, but like, not this time, not around.
No. We're going to do
we're going to do it based on kinks.
Yes.
And sex.
Yes. I'm not going to tell my sisters not to listen to that one. Because I'm ashamed.
Put the kids to bed. All of that.
We should have a guest host in that.
True. But, shame is not good. Also, shame is at least in my concept, it is connecting yourself and your values to the comments of other people.
Yes.
And if you're going to do that, that's not cool to yourself.
Boo, love yourself. Love yourself. Cool to yourself.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. What I said in the backtracks of like, it's kind of like tied to my idea of the coming out. Like if you coming out, and I make quotation marks as I say this, because we already know what
we know his thoughts on that.
You know my thoughts. Go back to the backtracks and listen to me go back and forth. But like that same thing, if you are putting yourself up for others, saying yes to you, to what you are,
their
to your
approval.
value, and that's where shame. That's also a thing that's very tied to shame, in my opinion. So no. We're not doing this in this house, or we're not doing this if you're listening to this podcast.
Exactly.
So if you do that and you're listening to this podcast, then don't listen to the podcast until you work on your shit.
I'm not a person about canceling things, but let's cancel shame.
Yes.
All right.
And with that, we're gonna leave you. So we're gonna cancel shame. Shame is canceled. If you have any shame, and you're a listener to this podcast, then work on your shit and then come back. We'll welcome you back with open arms.
Yes, we will.
But we don't welcome your shame.
We're not going to welcome your shame, but we welcome you. And so if you need to talk, I was going to say talk to us on our socials, but we're not that one.
No, go to therapy. Go to therapy. Therapy is cool. Okay. Therapy is cool. Cool people go to therapy.
Let's end this episode before we keep going.
And with that, until next time, bye bitch.
Thanks for tuning in for this messy episode of Listen. If you want to share the spotlight with us and tell us how you feel, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at lstnpod listenpod, or send us an email at lstnpod@gmail.com. Until then, bye bitch!